Welcome everybody. I've got my image open that I was showing you guys in the lecture. One of the images from Scotland, and I'm going to sort of go through and show you how I edit this and what I sort of want you guys to sort of try for your landscape photo this week. Now I waited out here forever for this time of day to make it right, so that a light would break through the sky and actually hit the stoles down there, those three little crags you see down bottom left, and the light never did. It came out and instead hit it sort of up here in the top right. And that's not what I wanted. I wanted to sort of highlight just those three crags, and I waited for, like an hour. No, check that. I waited for like 30 minutes. My wife got irritated, and she's like, dude, let's go. It's never going to do that. I'm like, you're right. So I got left with having light on the right and not where I wanted it. Anyway, it worked out okay. Again, the climb up was terrible, but I'm going to show you guys sort of how I edit this. But first, I made another one. I edited this already, right? And then I saved the preset when I did it. And under my presets here, under user presets, you'll see I have something called stole. And if I click that, it'll, look dude, this way you never have to ever, oh, come on, apply it, fool. You never ever have to redo stuff, right? Once you create an edit you like, you can literally save it in your user presets, and you can use it again and again and again for other things, right? So you don't have to remake the wheel every time. But let's get to cracking and see what we can do here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make my sky darker and more dramatic. I shot this in RAW, so this is a digital negative file. It's a RAW file. And if I click the little top of the mask up here, I'm going to look at like adding a mask, right? Because I want to mask the sky out and just select the sky. So if I hit the plus button, it's going to say, what do you want to like select? I'm going to say, dude, I'm going to select the sky. It'll detect it automatically for me like that. And what's awesome is all that pink stuff is the sky selection. So once that looks pink like that, as we know with masks, if we now go on the right side where the little sun is and the little temperature gauge and the details and the optics and all those things on the right side, we can just affect the sky. Remember when in the lecture I talked about how skies are an important part of landscape, a lot of landscape photography. And the problem with skies is if we photograph something, the sky is generally too bright and the land is usually dark, or the sky is flipping really dark and the land's bright. So you usually can't have one or the other. So in this tutorial, we're going to go over sort of how to balance those by post-production. And one of the most important parts, you guys, is actually before you do anything, try to set your camera to RAW, right? So it'll shoot a large file where you're going to have all the ingredients here right now necessary to like bake or create your own file and be finished with it, right? So I'm going to come up to the light up here. I'm going to drop the exposure of the sky down a little bit, see, to make it more dramatic, to make the landscape pop. Dropping the exposure down, I'm going to drag the contrast up a little bit to make it more contrasty. There's less contrast. I like the more contrast feel. I'm going to pull the highlights down. Maybe, no, I won't. I sort of like the highlights there. I usually, guys, err on the side of highlights as bright as I can without losing any detail. So I think that's about our max right there. Shadows in the sky, we can leave those down a little bit if we want. And everything else, I mean, I'd sort of leave the same. Maybe I'll adjust the blacks a little bit, make it even look more stormy. I think that looks, again, more dramatic is what I'm going for, right? So you can adjust the color right here also of your sky. I'm not going to do anything to mine because I sort of like it. I'm not going to make it more yellow, or it looks polluted, and more blue looks, maybe. Well, check that. Actually, I might make it a little more blue. Yeah. You can increase the saturation and do a ton of other things too to the selection of the sky. But I think I'm done for now, okay? So I'm going to hit the checkbox. Looks good. Next thing I'm going to do is adjust the landscape itself, right? So I want to adjust the land and make that look more contrasty. So what I'll probably do is, instead of selecting the sky, I'm going to click up on the very top button and make a mask. I'm going to click the plus button and add a mask. And then I'm going to click, well, you know, I think I get lucky with color range. No. Yeah, let's try color range. And I'm going to drag this around. I'm going to say, dude, literally, I want to affect the greens. So if I drag this little thing around, it'll actually highlight and light up what color I'm going to affect. And I can literally select all those greens. Now I can refine it by selecting less greens or selecting more that's green. And I'm going to push it all the way to where most of the land is selected. And I'm going to click apply. Once I do that, I can now go to my light tab again, and I can literally drag the exposure up on the greens. Look at that. I can add the contrast to them a little more, make them pop a little more, drop the highlights again a little bit because they tend to get blown out sometimes. And then I'm going to add some blacks and make them look really pretty and crispy. And I think that's about it. I think that actually looks pretty good. Yeah, dude, I'm actually liking this. So I'm going to click the little checkbox down. Actually, yeah. No, I'm not. See, I think it's the little thing. It's this one. This one right here, the little box with the little, I don't know, it's like a square with a circle around it and stuff. I'm going to add some texture to the landscape to make the texture pop a little bit because I really like seeing the edgy little rocks and stuff. And I'm going to add some clarity to it, which ups the contrast of midtones. And now I think I really like it a lot better. Dehaze, you guys, works if you are shooting with the sun, and it'll literally either darken or lighten your image. And we don't need dehaze in this instant. I think it looks pretty good on its own. Yeah, I think we're done. I'm going to click checkbox. And then I'm actually going to drop the exposure on the whole image a little bit because I think the greens are a little too bright now. So I'm going to come back, and now I'm not going to mask. I'm just going to select the little light tab, and I'm going to drop the color in the whole image. And this is actually more what it looked like when I was there. For real. It looked like that. It was a stormy day. Highlights were there. Looks pretty flipping good. I'm not going to adjust anything else, I don't think, at this point. I think it's sort of where I want it. But the last thing I'm going to do, and what I want you guys to do, is basically, I want you guys to add a little bit of a vignette, right? So if you come down here, I think your vignette is in optics. I am wrong. Where's the vignette at? I think it's under this little triangle. No, it's not there either. Oh my God, am I really going to be searching through all this crap? I am. I'm going to be searching through all this stuff. There's vignette. Vignette is under texture and clarity and dehaze. I just didn't scroll up high enough. So I'm going to drag my vignette and darken the image a little bit so your center of interest edges toward the center of the shot where that light bright spot is, right? I'm just going to give a little bit, and I think that looks pretty good. I'm not going to add any grain. I could feather the vignette a little bit, but I think I'm fine. Yeah, I think I'm good. I like this. Okay, so this is my finished product, you guys. So now basically I'm going to output this and export this out and save it. Make sure you guys this week you have a watermark on your image. It will not get credit without it, right? So just go up to the little square and the little square with the arrow on it. Click that, and I would click export as, and you're going to choose JPEG. Largest available dimensions, image quality 100%. Yes, I'm going to include the watermark. I think I already customized it. Yep, there's Aaron Draper in the very bottom. Looks great. And then I'm going to flip and check it and export it out as a JPEG. And that should be your homework this week.